But one of the most striking features of this pandemic year has been how freedoms that we once took for granted have suddenly become curtailed. Freedom of speech, freedom of conscience, freedom of association, those fundamental freedoms are always in battle and always have been, and the fight for them has to be always fought anew. But the freedom to go to the pub, suddenly the liberty to enter a public house is something that is considered high risk and it is under serious threat. And yet here we are tossing away this absolutely essential freedom in the face of a vulgar little virus, which, while serious, of course, is now at least well understood enough, surely, to be able to have adults negotiate their own risk. But just the above mentioned freedoms, like freedom of speech and freedom of association, are always a threat to the powers that be. When you think of it, pubs have always represented a threat to the technocratic elites, too. They represent a world that they just can't get into, and over which they've always tried to exert control. And unfortunately, it looks as though they have recently begun to succeed. Conviviality, good cheer, unchecked fun, the whole raison d'etre of a pub is anathema to the parched technocratic mindset. Pubs represent a vibrant space where public and private interact. Conversations are open ended, ideas get thrashed out by intelligent people, and minds get changed. And I think it's just this that technocrats really dislike and distrust about pubs. Essentially, they distrust people. On social media, you can hide behind anonymity, cultivate only like minded contacts, and never really have your views challenged. But in the cut and thrust of a lively, booze fueled banter, you can find yourself having to defend your positions in real time and sharpen your arguments and go away and think that you may not have all the answers. And what politicians do can be often held to much more intense scrutiny in a pub than the grinding orthodoxies and narrow Overton window of social media allow. So, to the soulless technocratic mind, conviviality, which can't be represented on a spreadsheet and can't be modelled, represents an amorphous threat. And there's a certain kind of grim, humorless idiocy, too, to the way they have tried to put a break on it this year. Witness the whole Scotch egg substantial meal conundrum, or here in Ireland, where the demon booze had to be accompanied by a meal to the precise value of no less than €9, presumably some sort of virus repellent sweet spot, landing up to €8.50, we just wouldn't reach. So, what can we do to combat this erosion of fundamental freedoms? To meet each other and enjoy each other's company? Well, I think, in spite of their best attempts to kill Christmas, we have to do our best to try to see each other as much as we can, see willing people as much as we can over that period, and actually thrash this idea out and change some minds and tackle it head on. It's an abiding truth about freedoms of all kinds that they are so much more difficult to get and to get back than they are to give away. This is one case where, in many ways, the best way to make sure we don't lose it is to keep it alive by living it and breathing it. And if there's a snifter or two of porter to hand while doing so, then so much the better. Thank you.